Alright, what is up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre, and it's been a little while for me. So I might be a little bit rusty here, but I just did a practice right, so I'm hoping that I can get right back into the swing of things. And I see here that we have Ruki hanging out in our wagon, and also, I'm just trying to remember where we are in the story, and if I remember correctly, last time around, we were hearing from Wolfred, or should I say Treebeard, that, we had our next rite in this strange location that we didn't really expect to ever have a rite in. It was this dangerous place that people were generally avoiding and may have been the source of monsters? Or other bad things in the downside? So, there's some question as to what the deal is there. But anyways, let's talk to Ruby before we get started. Will I remember people's voices? That's also a good question. You thought Ruki was trying to get your attention, but soon realized his attention is fixated on somebody else. Might I assist you with something there, Mr. Greentail? Ruki, it has not struck you as the sort to ever be at a loss for words, and yet... no, I was just, trying to see if maybe... Temitha gives a laugh. Not in an unkind way. At ease, Ruki, darling. You should know, I have no immediate plans to snatch you up and eat you for a snack, if that was your concern. No, it's just, what is it then? Hmm? Look, I got this really stupid question here. Been bugging me is all. It's just, us curs. We don't have many run-ins with you folks, and so... What is your really stupid question, Ruki, darling? Okay. Here it goes. How come you always wear that hat? Temitha remains silent for some time. Then... This helm was given to me by my blood sister on the night of my first kill. Oh. Slowly, she reaches for the helm. Ruki Greentail, this helm, it means nothing to me now. I want you to keep it. Huh? What? Then, Temitha begins to laugh again. Come on, Ruki darling. You have got to stop being so serious around me. I don't bite. Besides, we seem to make a decent enough team out there, I think. You're pretty quick. Ruki laughs, rather sheepishly. Alright, you got me pretty good there, sister. I do not remember how I was doing Ruki's voice. So, that stuff you said about the hat, then? Total nonsense. Mostly. I just happen to like it. So, you're saying I can't keep it? If I get out of here before you, Mr. Greentail, it's all yours. It's a deal. That's definitely not Ruki's voice that I was doing. Seems like I went more in the direction of the trader, the slug trader that we had. I'll have to listen back at what I was doing before, try to remind myself. I just remember it was higher than my usual voice, but I can't remember exactly how I was doing it, so sorry about that. He skitters off before Temitha can respond. She simply shrugs at you and smiles. Okay. Yeah, not necessarily the direction I thought that was going to go, but that's alright. Alright, and in the Book of Rites we have the Beyonders. To call the Beyonders a triumvirate is to stain the other's efforts, yet I am beholden to describe them here. A pack of bandits, loosely organized under the Sisters of the Arch. They traveled all this way, into my land, to take the Horned One's life, kill my friend, Pyre. We thwarted them. We had them at our mercy. Mercy had become imperative to me. We spared their lives, but banished them to darkness, far beyond these lands. Now and forever, Beyonders cling to a beholden duty to confront the true triumvirates. whenever they so choose, so that whenever the true triumvirates clash, it shall be to their fullest extent. That's from Howl the Swallow, which is the hymn, I believe, of the scribes. Alright, and that's all we have in here. So I believe, I guess this doesn't say continue to our right, so we may still have a few things to talk about and do before we actually fully get going here. Oh, we actually haven't taken off yet. I didn't realize that. We still have to go there. So I suppose we have not yet made it to that place. Just ignore the fact those are the dissidents back there, and we hate them with a burning passion. But yeah, so the mysterious place. Supposedly we haven't seen it just yet. But this apparently is it. Wilfred joins you as you soar high above the storm-ravaged waters, on approach to the infamous Isle of Calendar. I feel like we have flown over this in the past.
Among its cursed qualities, it seems this wretched storm means I cannot rightly smoke. One of the downside's small misfortunes, I suppose.
The wagons driving seem not to mind. In fact, they seem more animated now than usual, sir.
Perhaps they feel some connection to this, some sort of connection to this place. Tariq, do you suppose the Chastity were able to make it here intact?
They ought have seen it in stars, though we soon shall know for certain.
That we shall. Take us in, please, reader.
Okay, so we have the option of dropping down in a couple of places. An icy floe near the Isle of Calmer, sturdy enough for landing. Wolfred observes the waters on this route seem to be shining with stardust. I think that's the stuff that upgrades talismans, which we haven't been able to accumulate at nearly the same rate as we were at the beginning, nor have we used any of them at this stage. Probably ought to do that at some point in the near future. Otherwise, Barb Reef, an old exposed reef off the coast of the Isle of Calmer, which Tizo says he has a hunch he may find something of value. So something of value versus stardust. Stardust is, I guess, more specific, although sort of still something of value, as opposed to the ability to get some sort of character-based upgrade. I kind of like this. I'm curious as to, it might mean a talisman. Presumably it doesn't mean stardust. Might mean something that we could just sell, even if it doesn't do anything directly. You make landing within the Deathless Tempest, far west where you first reached through to the shores beyond. You wonder which sort of celestial landmark lies hidden amid these waters, though, for now, you have some time left before continuing onward. Ooh, Sir Gilman. So we do still have Tizo's Scribe Trial, which we struggled a little bit with earlier. Not sure that we've really made much in the way of upgrading his talismans or leveling him up, so I'm not sure that's going to get any easier other than just having to get better, but I mean, who does that, right? So, that being said, Sir Gilman is, of course, totally different character, totally different playstyle, and we might still be able to do a decent job there, so let's check it out. And I suppose we have a new page in the Book of Rites. The Deathless Tempest, where we are right now. Words of molten belief. We waited for the Deathless Tempest to subside. We waited. But the Underking, he merely laughed and laughed. The Deathless Tempest does not subside. What lies beneath that stretch of sea to cause such an upheaval is best left to myth and speculation. We made passage, nonetheless, through sorcerous aid and fortune, scarce seeing the surrounding environs. We did detect a landform to the west, Solium Muir detected there the presence of the treacherous aide who lured him into exile, and then followed him in turn. Muir, in his wisdom, thought it best to be avoided. At last did we arrive on distant lands, though seeing them provided little comfort. So even the scribes didn't want to go here. What is this? Tiny Tempest. Entertaining, but would unleash calamity if ever it were to be unbottled. Keepsake from the Deathless Tempest, so we just picked that up, apparently. I was wondering how long that was there for, without me realizing. What brings you to me this time, my dear reader? Hello, Sandra. So, we would like to try Scribe Trial, and we'll give Sir Gilman's a go, because I think I'm a little bit better at using him. Again, the speedier the character, the more naturally it comes to me. So, whereas slow characters, kind of like Tizo, can be a little bit challenging. I'm just trying to think of what talisman makes the most sense. It may be just going even further into that quickness category and giving +2. Let's give this a shot. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Sir Gilman. You think that dimwit of a worm has any chance? Perhaps you are correct, though I put little stock in him myself. So, let us bring him forth. Soon, Sir Gilman appears, in heed of the summons. Master Reader, it is this knight's perchance in trouble for something? Worms such as Sir Gilman are quick and effective in close quarters in the rights. Their aura trails can wall off their adversaries. That's a good point. Just running past an area might be enough on some occasions. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, Worm. You answer to me, you.
As you will, Your Highness.
Your Highness. I like the sound of that. Though flattery shall get you nowhere here. Demonstrate your competence to me, then, Worm. You shall have to do it mostly on your own, though under the guidance of your lovely reader. I trust, Lord.
Of course, Your Highness. This knight accepts this challenge.
Okay. Here goes nothing. Oh, I thought I was jumping there. Really meant to jump. Hold on. Oh, that was mean. Yeah, you're obviously gonna score here. Meant to jump on that previous occasion. That obviously would have been a pretty easy score. Oh, that went further than I expected. That worked. Oh, there's not a lot of life on this thing. What? Okay, admittedly, of course, I should have sprinted. That much is obvious. That was also mean. You could have just walked straight in, but no, you had to mock me about it. Okay, that was also mean. Alright, maybe, you know, doing something like charging straight for the orb is not always the best idea, which granted has been my strategy by and large. I thought these things blocked us, but okay, no, that thing blocks us. Wow, okay, well, series of misplays there, and certainly feel as though we could do a lot better than that, but probably best to use this as our practice instead of the actual right, in case we do silly things like that, because we can at least retry this one if we fail, as we just did, until we get it right, or until we decide that we want to move on and do other things. Versus laughable. The worm lacks any concept of his foolishness. I would tell you not to waste my time, worm. The truth is that my time is there for you to waste. Do you think you could do better than that? I think we can. Yes, we can absolutely do better. Ah, another opportunity to shame that idiot worm. Let us get to work. Excuse you. He has feelings. And so do I. We only need to score 3 times, I think? Because our enemies are starting with... Our opponents are starting with such a small amount of life on their Pyre. And I thought that these lines near the middle blocked attacks. So that was... Oop, I clicked off the screen. That was admittedly part of the problem. Oh, and I walked straight into that again. Excuse you. There we go. Almost missed that one still. Oh, we need 4. Sorry, 4. Not just... Ooh. That was also not great. And just barely missed that one. Okay. Marginally better than the last time, seemingly. Alright, I know that's coming. I also kind of know that's coming. I would really appreciate if you would stop camping the orb. Because that does make things rather difficult. I don't really know what to do here if you keep on doing that. Do I have the orb right now? I think I do. Apparently I do. That was close. Alright, just one more. Thought we could speed past. Admittedly, I do absolutely need to jump more often. That is 100% a thing. It's also 100% a thing that I am trying to remember to press the right button for. Tends to help. Alright, and again, you are camping this thing. It makes this very difficult to do. What? Alright, admittedly, I sprinted instead of using my aura to cast. So that was obviously a mistake. What? I don't know. They score, they win. There we go. Oh. Okay, that certainly was not our best performance ever, but we did make it happen. Like I said, probably a good thing we're starting with this instead of an actual right. Huzzah! This knight prevails! I have no choice but to concur with that assessment, Lord. Your performance was sufficient, and you passed my test. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and to your lovely leader. Farewell. Spring from here and learn what we did. Build a new and great society, a free society. Something else about society, one would assume. Master Reader, this knight is humbled after having passed that sorceress test. What? By the scales of the Underking Ores, what is that you have? You receive 4 scale for completing Sir Gilman's trial. Let's see what this does. Rank 10, Sir Gilman jumps farther than usual, plus 10%. Well, we were just saying how we really ought to jump more, and I suppose that is as much a reason to make that a habit as any. We will indeed accept the reward. Granted, I think maybe we could make life a little easier on ourselves if we were to choose a bit more of a, well, characters that I'm a little more comfortable with using. Characters like Ametha with the flying ability, Ruki, who's just great with his sprint, maybe Tay as well, who's not quite as fast, but similar. Whereas Sir Gilman's a little unusual in that, yes, he's crazy speedy, but he's so small, and his cast is a little unusual, so that might make it a little more difficult to jump straight into playing as Sir Gilman after being away from the game for a little while. Anyways, you make time to explore the boundless waters of Barbed Reef, your companions. An old exposed reef off the coast of the Isle of Calamer. It used to go by Barbara. The decided bar sounded much less formal. I mean, I suppose that's nice. Skriak? Kiso has not yet spotted anything in the surrounding area, but thinks maybe he could. Not much, though there's a lot more area to cover if we've nothing better to do. They turn to you. You may continue searching, or return to the wagon empty-handed and pursue your vocations. That's a little different. We have a choice even now, and we know what we're getting into. We can commit to the vocations, or we can try to explore. I mean, presumably it's kind of dangerous out here. Maybe it is best to just pursue our vocations? I am curious, though. There must be something around here that you can use, and you intend to find it, but at what cost? Time is better spent pursuing your vocations than rummaging through wilderness. Normally I would probably say this, but let's give it a shot. Gotta take some risks every now and again. You spend more time exploring unchecked nooks and corners of the area. It is an exhaustive process, but eventually, your search yields something you can use. Alright, I like the sound of that. You received ground keepsakes. Better than nothing. This can be sold for 70 coins. That's a lot at the market. We've gone a really long time without accumulating any sort of coins or things that we could sell for coins. So we haven't been able to buy any talismans or stardust for a long time. So I think this is still certainly valuable for us. Let's see. No one to talk to, so why don't we continue our journey? Which will take us all the way to the Isle of Calamer, one of the downside celestial landmarks, and you are to conduct the rites here soon against Manly and the Chastity. He's the sap, the guy who is basically a tree, but made the arena shrink on us. Ooh, what's going on here? Here in the eerie stillness, I read that as silliness at first, but stillness of deathless tempest, you encounter a messenger in, comes to deliver news and rumors from the other side. Okay. Meaning the Commonwealth, presumably. The news this time pertains to Hedwig, who you liberated at the fall of Solid. We have an updated description here. Let's see. He was the first friendly face you encountered in the downside. He has regained his freedom in a liberation. You learn Hedwin returned safely to the Commonwealth, where he was clothed and welcomed. His past transgressions all forgiven. He was to be groomed for a leadership position of his choice, whether on the council or the blood border, each equally as lucrative and secretive as well. Do we know what the council is? I mean, it sounds like some sort of leadership group in the Commonwealth, but I'm not sure we know what it is, or if we did ever find out, I don't remember what it is. Whereas the blood border is where he was before. Northern edge of the Commonwealth. It's a flat and vulnerable expanse. The Highwing remnants seized upon it at every opportunity, from the cover of clouds or darkness. However, he refused, very similar to what happened with Jodario, and before the stunned council members could do anything about it, he left them. I wonder if that's part of Wolfred's plan? Because that does seem strange that on the two occasions that we liberated someone, on both occasions, they had the opportunity to hold a pretty prestigious position, and on both occasions they declined. He since made contact with Wolfred's agents and is working together with them. Thus, the ranks of the revolution grow stronger. Per the messenger imp custom, the last part of the message was transcribed from Hedwig, word for word, and says, "Keep going. I'll see you there. See you here." We thank the messenger imp for relaying this information. Soon, your companions are all abuzz about it. A glorious example of Hedwin sets for all of us. Yeah, that's how it's done, Hedwig. Right behind you, chum. Hee-haw! Tizo's happy to hear Hedwig is well back in the Commonwealth. Wonder if he'll ever find the one who's helpful. It's true. I always thought Hedwig was looking for someone. Out there, back home. Do you think he found her? May that boy's spirit infect a lot of ye as will they. Thank you, Bertrude. The news of Hedwig's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. Your companions gain +1 hope for the next fight. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear Hedwig's doing well. That was nifty, that little transition from boat into wagon. Your wagon shudders to a halt at the Isle of Cowper. Bizarre outcroppings give it a foreboding feeling. Forbidding, apparently. In the distance, you hear odd gibbering noises that sound like ravens? Uh-oh, are we about to get ambushed? Ravenous creatures indigenous to the downside, possessing few passions other than a fast meal. Few in the Commonwealth believe these beasts are real, though stories of them are often told in jest. The Isle of Calamer, I thought we just read about that, but also we do have the slug market. Let's see what we do have here. Alright, the Isle of Calamer, in the words of Luce Glorian. The traitor Calamer Ropecaller, whereas he brought about our empire's fall, whereas he nearly claimed the life of our dear Solian, we forgive him. We have forgiven him. We give him a certain thanks. We give a certain thanks to him, for he has played a vital part in the Star's plan. If not for him, then we, the Eight, would never have alive. We never found the Ropecaller. Led into the sea, towards an isle, which we knew well to avoid. 'Twas there, we think, that Calamer's tattered mantle finally did him in, among the wild imps. There's tattered mantle. I wonder if that's what we're next to right now, probably. Should the stars ever converge above that isle, it shall be to signify that their long dance across the skies is drawing to a close. Hey, that would suggest we are approaching the end. Is there another page? No, just that? Okay. Let's see then. In the slug market, what do we have? Well, guys, how you find me all the way over here? I mean, this is, for some extra special customers. I'm only joking, You're the only customers I got. That's her combination of New York and Canadian accent there. Got you again. Only joking about that too, huh? Because I got tons of customers. It's just they already bought a lot of stuff today, so they're not here, okay? Anyways, I just got in a little something here, which maybe you'll be into. Been hearing about these little numbers for a while. Check them out. Little numbers. He reveals to you a set of twin rings. Jeweled band and ruined band. Grants the bearer +2 presence, quickness, and hope. That sounds amazing. Set bonus. At the start of a round, briefly gain infinite stamina if an ally has ruined band. That also sounds amazing. I'm assuming these things are probably very expensive. Thinking these things are supposed to be for a couple of lovebirds. You know what I mean? Eh? But anybody could probably use them, provided they was to buy them off me. I was gonna get them for myself, but anyways, let me know if you want them. They're over here. They're not as expensive as I would have thought. I was anticipating that they would be exorbitantly expensive. So, this we can sell. Still leaves us 10 short. Which is unfortunate. can't resell the Stardust for any significant amount of coins. Nor do I think we should sell any of the legendary talismans that any of our team has acquired. This one, I would almost consider selling this. Because we don't really throw the orb at all. What does the other one do? Oh, they're identical. Okay. An old enchanted ring, never found, far from its humbler-looking counterpart. Really? This one's considered more attractive, this one's considered humbler? I don't know. I like them both. Anyways, I mean, we certainly can't afford both of them right now. If we were to sell this, we would be able to at least get one. And even getting one, I mean, granted, we've been using a talisman that I think we just put on Sir Gilman that gives +2 quickness and only that. So to get additional presence and hope on top of that, sounds pretty great. I think we can do that. I'm okay with doing this. And then we use it to buy... Let's go with the humble one. Proceed. Okay. And I mean, yeah, theoretically, we could make it so that we have enough to buy this one, but it would require selling some of the legendary talismans, which I don't know if, take Dodariel's, for example, if we ever have a reason to use that again, but I feel like we ought to keep it just in case. Tell all your friends about us, because I already told mine. Okay. So that is that. I believe it is now time to commence the rite. I'm a little nervous here because, if you didn't notice, wasn't doing so well with Sir Gilman earlier, so we'll see. Hopefully we've had enough time to practice that we're back into the swing of things and we can perform at our usual standard, which is, of course, ever so lofty. No. I'm sure it'll be a close one either way. Everything is prepared, and night is just beginning to take hold above the steady current Isle of Calvary, when Bolfred gets your attention.
Reader, I suppose you might remember our first meeting with that manly Tinderstaff. He would be mortified, of course, if you forgot.
I do remember. I remember that he remains the only person that you have said not to trust, which seems really strange. You said don't even talk to him. We've never heard you say anything like that to anyone else. And we don't know why. I mean, you probably said something like just generally don't trust him, but I'm still somewhat suspicious of you. And if you are suspicious, in turn, of Manly, then I question why that is.
I would say that he is an embarrassment to my kind, but unfortunately, I've known many others like him. We are a discontented people, I suppose. Anyway, when last we saw him, you might recall that I avoided him. We are not good acquaintances or anything, but he knows enough people in high places that he could be harmful to our plan, should he know of my involvement, and so...
Okay, it's a little more explanation, that is helpful. Bolfred dons his ritual mask. Ah, okay, I don't think we've seen that yet. But I assumed that this would happen at some point, because there was talk that the Nightwings would have a member from each of the primary groups, and we haven't seen any other sap that's associated with our group other than Sandalwood over here, so I was pretty certain that this was going to happen at some point. I shall have to be... That's not his voice. I shall have to be discreet here. As I am with the Nightwings once again, I can no longer hide from him outright. Perhaps, though, he shall take me for a common sap. Anyhow, it seems to me
we have a right to conduct.
Alright. I'm pretty sure this is the same music we had against them last time. Okay. I remember these. These are the extra challenges. Lord Gandalf. Your adversaries each shall have +8 presence, raising the size of their auras. So that doesn't seem terrible. I don't remember what all the other ones are. Your adversaries each have +8 quickness, more cunning and quicker to react, +8 hope. Your pyre shall suffer 30 damage. Your adversary's pyre shall gain 30 life. So, you'll excuse me here, but I'm not going to take any of these at the moment, because I'm a little nervous still. I'm hoping that we'll get right back into things, and it won't be a problem. We'll be able to speed past all of them. But, remains to be seen.
A glorious eve to you as ever, O you exiles of the Nightwings.
Why, thank you.
The 8 scribes dragged you all the way into the blasphemous Isle of Taylor.
Caleb. Okay.
Here you are to
Little
be
different
surrounded
pronunciation.
by even more gibbering nitwits than usual.
That is cool.
Your adversaries in the rites this eve shall be the chastity. Snuff out their pyre's flame and show your worth.
This is an interesting arena. My, what have we here? Why, the Nightwings come to grace us with their presence once again. Are you perhaps intent upon humiliating us even more after last time? You sense Wolfred reaching out to you.
The god is thus here. Let us indulge him for the time. Perhaps he shall reveal something we can use to provide a disincentive for his men. Just let him keep on talking. I shall attempt to remain hidden. And my, the colors of those raiments, I mean, they are rather gaudy in this light. I have to say, though, I mean no offense of this, of course. So, do you suppose the rite is going to commence soon? As much as I enjoy our chats like this, I do have to get going soon. If you must know, why, I'm expecting an important message. From the other side, no less. Come dawn. I hear something is brewing out there. Some sort of unrest. So yes, it is very important message. Sent all this way by one of those inferiors. And I must say, those little things, their services are certainly not cheap. Though I'm sure that I could get you a good deal on their services if you wish. Perhaps to contact a loved one back home. All I ask, of course, is that you stand aside and let the chastity prevail, as we ought. For I've a date with Destiny not long from now, upon the fall of Solium. He continues talking for some time, until, at last, the rites are set to start. So yeah, he does appear to have contacts with the other side. Oh, my. Look at this wonderful assembly of exiles from all different corners. Such a colorful retinue of Nightwings you have. You know, I heard the most preposterous rumor about you. You are harboring an especially notorious criminal. One who has designs upon the Commonwealth itself. Uh-oh. Okay, starting to see what's happening here. He looks right at Wolfred. But I could not imagine such outlandish tales could possibly be true. Anyhow, I so would like to meet everyone here. Hello, good Nightwings. I am H. Manly Tinderstaff, and truly, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Manly has intruded on your privacy as you set to choosing your triumvirate.
he could not be less welcome. He seems to be searching for someone in your ranks. Manly seems very interested in your triumvirate. Ask him to leave politely, in which case, Manly seems to respond to behavior similarly to his own. You could send him away, or warn him to back off immediately. Perhaps a broken limb or two might cause Manly to think better of such antics next time. Polite or rude? I do think we ought to be... I think we play into his... well, play into his character. Not his hand, per se, because that would mean that we're helping him. But we kind of make it seem like we're not up to anything unusual here, and try to be polite. You suggest to Manly that perhaps he ought to check on his own triumvirate in the key moments prior to the rite. Why, yes, of course. I was just taking the opportunity to bid all of you salutations, for I so enjoy getting to meet my fellow exiles face to face like this. Yes, there may be rules against this type of thing, but who's counting, am I right? I'm sure the scribes wouldn't mind if they were here. Anyway, now that you mention it, I ought to check on my wonderful colleagues. See you shortly, and good luck. Manly leaves at last, leaving you to focus on the rite again.
Now let us get started.
Okay, so, let's go over to the chastity for a second here, and see Manly is slow, deals a lot of damage, and it comes back surprisingly quickly. And preparing the orb, so he throws it more quickly, and we don't have a good sense as to what abilities are for saps like him, so let's see. Manly is banished. A sapling shall automatically spawn near his pyre until he returns. That seems vaguely familiar. I'm not sure if I directly tied those two things together, that it was when we got rid of him that his sap took his place, or that his sapling took his place. I think, assuming that they were kind of both showing up simultaneously, but let's see the other one. Sturdy sapling. After casting Sprout, okay, so he does have a way of casting them still. Manly sapling spawns faster than usual and gains a larger aura. So remember, he can create a sapling that is stationary, but has an aura around it, so it's kind of like a little wall that will be probably somewhere near the pyre, as this specifies, and presumably if he were to make one himself, that would also happen that way. Now he has a savage teammate who is 19 quickness, is pretty fast. Not lightning fast, but pretty fast. However, you seem not very good. Not very good at your job. Sorry. After dousing the adversary's pyre, the bearer's pyre is restored by up to 8. That is powerful, though. That is very powerful, so he can heal his own pyre if he does manage to score. Brief charge-up time before Averick jumps or sprints is virtually eliminated. Okay, so yeah, we've seen Tay with this ability. And then I'm assuming, yes, that you will be the really quick one. So you're a worm, like Sir Gilman. After Sir Piedmont banishes an adversary, one of his banished allies shall instantly return. That is also a little dangerous, as it could allow them to quickly outnumber us. And you, likewise, have the ability to get some life back on your own pyre. So it seems like that's sort of the theme here, is you're going to have this guy, Manly, holding down the fort, using his big aura and his saplings to create a bit of a wall around their own pyre, while this guy and this guy, particularly you, in all likelihood, will be darting forward on in more of an offensive role, trying to score quickly, and in doing so, gain back some life to their own pyre. So, bearing that in mind, how does that impact our decision here? We know that we're going to have some pretty quick people against us, but I think you are going to be key for getting over Manly and the sapling's wall, so to speak. The barriers they're going to create that will make it difficult for us to score. So I think offensively, you're going to be the key. Defensively, I mean, who needs defense when you can have good offense, right? No. I think we pick you first. Remind me what her talisman does. While flying, after dazzling the adversary's pyre, Hamilton may instantly return and deals 3 damage.
Your decision.
I'm deciding. Okay, so I stand by that one. I'm tempted to go with Rookie here because he is also speedy. We can give him something else. We give him this, which does speed him up further. Or his legendary talisman lets his cast linger longer than usual. I don't necessarily know that that's the way we'll want to go. But I think we choose him. Because again, I think speed is going to be key. Defensively, I'm not sure if we want to do anything that is directly tied to going up against these guys. Well, Tay might be a good option. She's probably our most well-rounded character at this point. After having, liberated Headwind, she's kind of the next closest thing. So I think we go that route.
It is done.
Manly, he reminds me of the kinds of people who are unkind to me back home, I mean, not here.
You are quite Are you quite ready yet, oh Nightwings? I doubt you are. Because my colleagues of the Chastity and I, we have a trick or two we think shall take you by surprise. Just watch. Uh-oh.
Don't like the sound of that. As the rite commences, oh my god, what is happening? The imps throughout the cavernous area roar with excitement. I can't help but notice that you're continuing to move even as I'm reading this, and also moving the orb towards our opponent. Not cool. As the rite commences, the imps throughout the cavernous area roar with excitement, and
our struggles and our plan. Mere entertainment to these lonesome creatures.
begging your pardon, sir, the imps of the Isle are quite passionate about the rites. Just now, they offered a bounty on the soul. If our triumvirate proves worthy.
They would pay us? In exchange for what exactly? And where did they get the soul, for that matter?
My understanding is they wish to see us perform various feats of glory. As for the source of their wealth, who can say how much soul lies lost in the sea, within the sea? Flashy displays of mastery in the rites, which certain types of imps are willing to pay to see.
That's the first time we've heard of that, and I wonder what they might be.
Reader, it may seem beneath you, but the opportunity is real if the soul could be of benefit.
It could, but I am concerned for other reasons. Indeed. Then, reader, my boy, it is yours to decide if entertaining these sad creatures is a justifiable distraction during these affairs. We trust your judgment. Now, let us not distract you further here.
Henceforth, we shall be tasked with feats of glory in the rites. Are you still not gonna tell me exactly what that means? Oh, right. Had a brief moment there where I, kind of forgot the controls for a minute.
The first dancing.
But we recovered. Barely.
Good.
Ooh, I was about to fly. Oh, I walked straight into that. That was silly. And that was close. There we go.
Flame has died a little.
Alright, good start, good start. We made it work. I see that. Oh, I tried to get out of the way. That's just a sapling. Oh, what? The aura increased? What was that? Okay, well, I would very much prefer... Ah! No!
That ought to wake you up.
That was not terribly well done on my part. There we go.
Absolution.
A little better. Ooh, well jumped. It's the first time I've done a jump that well, I would say. The imps grow more and more agitated with each passing moment. Some starting to spill onto the sacred grounds. I mean, wasn't this already happening? Now, my impish friends, do calm yourselves. Calm down, I said. Calm down! I said, calm down!
What are those blasted creatures doing?
Easy.
Not the purified flame.
Alright, the special bonus would be to get rid of 2 enemies in one pass, which we are not really looking to do at the moment. There we go! That wasn't bad at all. Maybe we could have
Prevail again.
made things a little more,
May their next
well,
adversaries fare
theatric.
a little better.
But a win's a win.
End this night's proceedings.
My word! How could this happen to me? You deceitful, ignorant, utterly uncouth pack of fools. Have you any idea what you've done? Wolfred watches the outburst in silence. Keep spouting off like that, Manly, and you shall reveal all we need to know. You harbor such a fear within your heart. There, you don't you? Coming from the aristocracy, and now an exile, how they must speak of you. What would they think of you if you don't get out, or even if you do? Wolfred remains deep in thought, studying his adversary. There. I see you. I see now. Then, Wolfred recedes into the shadows. What? My head! Oh, I believe there must be some mistake. I have to go. Ta-ta. Fine evening to you now. It's been a pleasure. Genuinely so. That's a little strange. Seems like Wolfred disappears and something happens to Manly, and can't help but think that Wolfred may have done something to make that happen. But anyway, Manly stumbles away in a stupor. That seems very out of character. And... oh, wrong sap there. And there he goes. I've lifted certain burdens from him for the time. A bit of mercy for his sake. For my people's sake. What? Lifted certain burdens from him? As well, it should ensure he has no lasting memory of our encounter here. Or running into me. Now, let's be off, before he catches up with us again. Wolfred may have drugged him?
In the hearts of all these exiles.
Alright, Tay ranked up.
Stands closer to the scribes, the little moon-touched girl.
I feel so overwhelmed, I think, because the scribes, I think they speak to me and lift me up whenever I begin to think that I'm going to fall.
I don't remember very well what Tay has for options. While grasping the orb, Tay sprints and jumps without using stamina. Wow. So basically, she has unlimited stamina when she has the orb. That sounds amazing. When saluting her adversaries, Tay automatically leaps toward the orb if no one has it. And it doesn't seem great to me. Or we can get rid of her brief charge-up time with her sprint. Both of these seem great, but I think that is so huge that I find a hard time passing that up. So let's go for it. Okay. And that appears to be it.
Until the stars align.
While holding right-click, cast your character's aura, you may press Shift. After you and your fellow exiles defeated the Chastity, you find the lone minstrel tending to one of your own. Tamitha seems to be unwell, although you cannot sense yet why. How are you feeling? I can't hardly move my wings at all right now. It's like I'm terribly exhausted all of a sudden. I see. Then please, do not exert yourself. Try. The lone minstrel motions for you to come closer. Reader, Tamitha appeared rather disoriented and more fatigued than usual. Perhaps feeling not entirely present. Symptoms of banishment sickness. Know that we know what this is. An ailment suffered by those who frequently conduct the rite. Ah! Debilitating but fleeting. I was gonna say, we've used her a lot in the rites. I'm not sure when the last time we had her sit out was. The sense of loss and isolation during banishment sometimes extend beyond that. I mean, to be fair, she has participated in the rites many times. I can't say she's been banished all that often. Well, okay, maybe that's not true, because I think that you do technically get banished after scoring, and she does do that a lot. So, I suppose that is still true. You should soon be able to take part in light activities, I think. Under no circumstances shall she be able to conduct the coming rite. Uh-oh. Okay. So that's good to bear in mind, because the next one, well, I mean, the Liberation Rite will be coming up pretty soon. I don't think it's the next one, but certainly we'd want her to participate in that one, because she is one of our strongest characters. Now then, I ought not keep you from the stars above. Please, go and have a look at them. For all of us, I think, are anxious to depart this place. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. We gaze into the darkness of night, seek our destination. Midnight Star, Log Star, the Vernal Star. We are very close to some of these. So we can go against the Templars, who we've only gone against once, and that was in our initial Liberation Rite. That would be an option. Down, where was it? Here's one. Can go against the Pyre Arts, who we've also only gone against once. And early, I mean, obviously the worms, so they are very quick, but I don't remember much else about them. And our last option would be against the Fates, and again, only gone against them once. So, I mean, these are all people who we haven't seen very much of. I do think, if I remember correctly, the Fates may be the easiest of all these groups. Then I would argue maybe even the Templars, even though we went up against them in the initial Liberation Rite, they are at least partially composed of demons who are big and slow, and that tends to be a fairly easy thing for us to counter with our strategy. Just look at what we just did against Tinderstoff, his big, slow, large auras, but not a lot of quickness to catch up to us if we do try to speed past them. I think we'd find that it'd be a similar case against the Tempers, whereas, take on the other end of the spectrum, the Dissidents, with their blazing fast curves, and they're the only people who have beat us thus far. So, I think that's the primary challenge that we've faced, is when people can go toe-to-toe with us in terms of speed. So if we're trying to just go for the people that we feel most comfortable going up against, I would say it's definitely not you. Probably you or the Tempers. And it's been the longest since we've gone up against the Fate, so let's do that. It's been a long time since we've gone to that location as well.
Your next adversaries are to be the Fate, headed by Dalbert Oldheart and his son. They show unyielding respect to a tradition which shows them no such love. He then shares with you what details he attained of your next adversaries. Dalbert Oldheart, an adversary who showed you respect and even generosity. Despite his advanced age, he also made for a formidable opponent, he and his son. Did they, though? I didn't think they did. The so-called Almer the Helpless, ever present at his father's side. He was abandoned as an infant, for Dalbert found him and raised him as his own. Dalbert taught his son everything he knew of his cultural heritage. His descendant of one of the Alpha Chiefs, thought to be descended from Jomi, many made himself, or the scribes, her scribe. However, his more vocal attempts to preserve old Kur traditions in the Commonwealth often fell on deaf ears, or even roused the anger of officials. One day, he insisted on celebrating Fang's Song against the wishes of his family. His family's caution was well-founded in this case, and he was taken into custody. Fang Song, an old Kur holiday in which a single pack of Kurs vanquished an entire Imperial brigade. And Jomir's jaws and Jomir's many names ran red that day. Sounds like it's pretty violent, or at least is celebrating that previous violence. As for Almer, as his father was led away, he put up enough of a fight where he wound up sharing his father's cell, and soon enough, his sentence. In the downside, their faith brought them in contact with a pack of spiritual Kurs residing in Jomir Valley. In time, they became acquainted with the rites, and helped to revitalize the long-struggling triumvirate known as the Fate. They have since struggled on, at times flirting with freedom, though seldom getting within striking distance. Yet still, they long to find a way to return to their ancestral home and family. Should they succeed in all of this, only one of them will be returned. They must know that by now. Either way, we shall see them again soon. Please, rest yourselves for now, while dark night remains. You bid the lone minstrel a good evening. It's too late to take flight, so you make plans to rise at dawn to continue your travels. Alright, and with that, I think that makes this a good place to wrap things up for this go-round. As I said, it's, I was a little nervous going into this round of rites. It felt like we were making a bit of a big deal about conducting the rites in this strange and dangerous location, so I wasn't sure if we were going to be in for something a little bit more difficult than we could handle, but as it turns out, it seems like we managed to do that pretty alright, and came my way with, a pretty convincing win in the grand scheme of things. I think I don't remember how many
how far ahead we were in that one, but it was the rare, not so close finish. So anyways, we'll have our next round up against the Fate, and we'll see how we can do there. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.